Okay, Anthony, very welcome to our Cyanite video case study. Thanks so much for taking your time. We will go through our partnership today, see how Cyanite is integrated into Cinephonix, and maybe we start with a short introduction about yourself and about Cinephonix, and we take it from there.
Sure, yeah, nice to join you, Jacob. So my name is Anthony Walters. I'm the Managing Director and co-founder of Cinephonix. We're a UK-based music library. We've been around for about 15 years or so. We have customers both in the UK, but also globally. Our typical customer base ranges from clients of ours at the BBC, Channel 4, so major broadcasters in the UK, advertising agencies, through to major corporate companies such as Dyson, the vacuum cleaner manufacturers, and then a whole host of corporate videos and online enterprises as well.
If we look at our partnership, so what were the specific challenges that have led you to consider an AI-powered search for Cinephonix?
We were very interested in it when we heard about the concept, and the main angle that we were coming from in terms of an AI integration was from the customer's perspective and the customer experience. One of the things that our customer base really desires is a really quick, easy way of accessing the music they want. Often music's a very difficult thing to describe in your head or type on a search facility. And often our customers are coming to us, for example, BBC clients or Channel 4, an advertising agency. They will have some temp tracks put in the back of their edit anyway that they've thrown in at some point to give them a sort of guide when they're editing. So actually having something that is audio based and audio matching based, rather than trying to rely on people having to describe what music they're looking for, was a very appealing concept to us.
That's interesting. This is sometimes also something we hear a lot, that it's quite hard to translate a piece of music into keywords.
Yes.
And use these keywords to find music again.
It's interesting because music's very subjective, as you know. I mean, you and I could argue for the rest of the afternoon on whether something is blues rock or rock blues. Depending on what mood you're in, something might sound happier or not so happy. So actually, it is very difficult to just write that or tag that in conventional mood, style, genre tagging. So the AI element, where it's actually analyzing the makeup of a track, is a really interesting alternative way of finding and searching for music. You
integrated Cyanite as an API integration to the Cinephonix platform. What was the integration process like, and how hard or how easy was it to add an AI layer to your existing service from a technical but also from a conceptual point of view?
I guess in our case, it wasn't too complicated, and that's for a couple of specific reasons. For example, from a UX, a visual point of view on our front end site, the way our site was already laid out lent itself pretty well to adding the AI element. So here we have the Cinephonix website, and here we're straight onto the music search page. This is our conventional tagging that we had before the AI was integrated, and filters build themselves along in this manner that we've seen and familiar with on all sorts of websites. Our layout design had various columns and drop downs, etc. here. So actually integrating this sort of similarity search from the AI into an additional column here was actually quite a simple thing from a user experience point of view. So we didn't need to completely change the architecture of the front end site. We also added some additional search methods such as YouTube, link to YouTube videos, and also uploading files for similarity searches. The overall kind of changes that we had to make to the layout of the site wasn't that substantial. Secondly, from a development point of view, I guess we are quite lucky in that we own our underlying technology platform as well. So we have developers who have built our platform from the ground up. So in integrating the Cyanite API, we weren't reliant on a sort of third-party software provider for the site development. And when our developers looked at the Cyanite API documentation, etc., they were quite quick to grasp it and thought it all looked very clear, straightforward, and organized, and they were able to get cracking with it right away.
Do you remember how long the integration took?
I think it was about 6 weeks, something like that. But then I say 6 weeks, that wasn't developers working full time for 6 weeks. We were looking at different aspects of other things surrounding the implementation at the same time. So if we'd have had the developers, sort of working full time just exclusively on that, it would have been a lot quicker. It wasn't a massively complicated integration. I guess one of the things that added an additional layer of complexity to it is that we were kind of dual tracking a secondary project at the same time, whereby one of the offerings in our business is we run the websites of a lot of other music libraries, and where they white label their own websites based on our underlying technology platform. And so one of the things that we worked through as part of that implementation was enabling the Cyanite API to work for all of the different other third-party websites that we operate. So that business that we have is called TuneBud, and that runs third-party music libraries. And again, talking to your developer team at Cyanite, we worked through a solution for that so that we can very easily send the different music from different libraries to Cyanite for analysis, and then send the results back to those sites as well. So we were doing probably a slightly more complex integration than just a single site integration. But that said, it all worked very smoothly, and we're very happy with the result.
Do you remember why you decided to go with Cyanite as a provider of AI-powered music search?
Yes, it was a couple of factors. Firstly, we talked to you guys. I liked the team. I liked the fact that you were very responsive. I liked the fact that you were open to ideas. For example, that crates thing that we worked through, we had sort of specific criteria, and you worked through those questions and found solutions with us and answers to those questions very quickly. So that was very positive. But equally, none of it would have been any use without the results being accurate. So it was that sort of two factors of A, it performs really well, but B, a really good team and company to work with.
I think it was sometime around August or in summer where you officially announced this new similarity search within Cinephonix via, I think, a newsletter to your existing user base. So I'll be very interesting. How was the reaction in your community, and how was the initial response to this new feature?
Yeah, we had a really positive reaction, and it was interesting because some people got it straight away, and so we're starting to use the features. So one of the things was this YouTube integration that we did, where you can paste a YouTube URL, and it analyzes the audio in the background of that YouTube video and then sends results from our library, similar results to the music that's in the background of that YouTube video. Customers got that straight away because the idea of having a piece of music and trying to match a piece of music rather than trying to describe a piece of music was really powerful. In the same way, we've got the upload tool as well, where you can upload an MP3 or a WAV file. And again, if you put it in a temp track to a film or a video that you're editing, then just matching to that is really very powerful and quick.
Cool, sounds very nice. And you know, if we look at it, could you roughly say what's more being used? Is it the internal similarity search with a find similar button, or is it using the YouTube links and uploading MP3s as a reference track?
The find similar is what's being used most. Now, I think what actually is happening in a number of cases is people have a fair idea of what they're wanting. So they might, for example, click on action adventure to start with, because they know that they're looking for action adventure. Then they have a quick scroll through. They like the sound of that, and then they are looking for similar tracks based on that. Incidentally, we should talk in a minute about how quick the system is. And a lot of people, our customers, know our library, so they have tracks that are their favorite tracks. And actually the ability to, I used that last time, but I want something similar to that, so I can just do that, is a really powerful thing to do. So their starting point might be uploading from a YouTube or uploading a file, but then kind of going down little rabbit warrens of finding tracks. They're using this tool a lot, to find similar tracks.
It also reminds me of, back in the day, I was using SoundCloud a lot, and it's very nice. In SoundCloud, you can really rabbit hole on the music search. And yes. I think this feature is also nice. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper, and also take some unexpected turns in some other directions.
Yes, so, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
How did the AI search actually impacted the business? And if so, how long did it take to see first results?
Yes, so it has had a positive impact on the business. One of the things that we measure is people coming back to the site and using us a second time, a third time, etc., and that customer retention. We put a lot of work into gaining one customer, and actually the important thing is, does that customer come back? And we've seen that customer retention increase, which is really positive.
And do you have any theories why the retention has actually increased? I mean, I know retention is one of the most powerful metrics. Do you know why that is?
I think one of it is it's just the simplicity, and also I think the speed of the system as well. I mean, let's just spend a moment and think what we're doing here. So I'm starting with a track, and I'm now searching tens of thousands of tracks, and within a space of a couple of seconds I've got a list of similar tracks. That's really powerful, and the idea that you can just press a button to generate that is makes it really easy. So I think speed and simplicity are two of the key components that's helped that customer retention.
Yeah, it's we also conducted a small study with an amazing student from the University of Utrecht, and she interviewed different video professionals on some of the features we are offering. And I think 90% of them answered, we are always working on a deadline, so we need to find the suitable music very fast. And 100% of them would prefer a production music library that has a similarity search over one that doesn't, because it's such an intuitive way of searching and finding music.
I think once customers get it and they've tried it, then they get wedded to it. Yeah. So you can see from our statistics that people who are using it just use it more and more once they've started using it.
So if you look back to the beginning of the year, what's the one thing that you have learned while integrating artificial intelligence, and what is maybe something you would want someone to know who is considering integrating a service like Cyanite into their music service?
I think from our perspective, we're really pleased we did it. And we're now looking at further enhancements to the system and doing more integrations in, doing slightly different ways of searching, integrating slightly different APIs, maybe doing something interesting with the Spotify API. It's rapidly becoming a core part of our features offering. It's great to have a good partner as we do more things in the future as well.